All right. Now, you should be on the third full page of the packet. No, something like that. But it should look like this. So it says 12 less than a number x is 27. So let's start with the easy thing. It says is. Is means equals. So that means that we can take out a and b. Okay? 12 less than a number x. Sometimes when it says stuff like that, I put a number in. Make it easier. If it says 12 less than 15, would you do 12 minus 15 or 15 minus 12? Which one would make more sense? 12 less than 15. 15 minus 12, which means you would get this one. Okay? The sum of 3 times the number n and 14 is 29. So remember that magic word is means equal. So that means this one's out and this one out. What does sum mean? Add or subtract? Add. So you should get F. This one's the hardest one, I think, on this page. Evelyn sold 5 of her comic books C and then split the rest into 3 equal piles. Okay? So if you're selling something, are you adding it, subtracting it, multiplying it, or dividing it? You're subtracting it. So she's selling 5. So which is the only one that deals with subtraction and 5? That one and that one. So we have 2. Okay? Then she splits it into 3 equal piles. So if I'm splitting something into 3 equal piles, that means I'm dividing it, right? And I'm dividing by 3. Both of these, even though they look different, are dividing by 3. Would I take my comics and subtract the 5, or would I take 5 and subtract by comics? I would take my comics and subtract by 5. 4 less than a number is less than 23. Less than. This is the less than sign, and the bigger side is opening to the 23. So that means it's either one of these. We talked about when it says a number less than another number, right? 4 less than a number n. That n goes first, so you should have h. The product of a number n and 8 is 56. Is 56. All right, so looking again at this. The product, what does product mean? Multiply. So which one of these 3 shows multiplying by number n and 8? That one, that's it. Okay? The product of 6 and a number x. We just talked about what product means. Multiply. So which one shows that? H and J. Okay? Then it says greater to or equal than. Greater than or equal to. Which one shows that? J. J is the only one that shows that. Okay? Looking at the next page. These are 2-step equations. So what do we do with our 2-step equations? Draw our line, circle our term with our variable. What do I need to do on both sides? Subtract 10. What's happening in between the 5 and the p? They're being multiplied. The inverse is divide. And you should get 8. Okay? Even though it's an inequality sign, we're going to do the same daggone thing. This plus sign is with this 2. It is not with the 4. What kind of sign is on the 4? A plus. So we are going to do a minus 4 on both sides. And then I'm going to divide by 2. C is less than an 11 over 2 because this is how my answer is written. I don't actually have to go any farther. I know some of you may have done 11 minus 2 and told me that's 5.5. All right, for this one gets a little bit harder, right? It's got that, what's that thing called? Distributive property. So I'm going to do 3 times 2z. So 3 times 2 is 6, and then I'm going to have a z plus, from inside the parenthesis, 3 times 4, which is 12. and that's going to still equal 30. Circle my term with my variable, subtract 12, and then I have 6z, and 36 minus 12 is what? 24, right? Oh, it's 30, my bad. Minus 12 is 18. I was like, wait a second. That's my fault. All right, and then just like before, what's happening between the 6 and the z? It's being multiplied, so what's the inverse? Divide. So divide by 6 on both sides, and what do you get? 3, so you should have a. Draw your line, circular term with your variable. All of you by now I know are stellar at knowing, hey, I need to subtract that 2 on both sides. That leaves me with d over 10 is greater than 3. Now here is where this one gets tricky, right? D is being what with 10? Divided by 10. So what's the inverse of division? Multiply. So I'm going to multiply by 10 on both sides. These 10s go away, and D is greater than 30. All right? Circle my term with my variable. Oh, wait, I have 2. Okay, so that means that I need to combine my like terms. Because they're both B's, I can do that. So what's 5B plus 5 more B? 10B. Bring down my minus 5. That's going to equal 55. This is minus 5, so I'm going to plus 5. And I'm going to have 10B, and that's going to equal 60. Then I'm going to divide by 10 on both sides, and B equals 6. Okay? Now this is the hardest one on this page, right here. And I'll tell you why. First of all, we still struggle with this negative is on the 3a. This is what we're moving. It is a positive, so I need to subtract. Left with my negative 3a, left with 30. That's step 1. I know that y'all are going to say, well, just divide by negative 3, Miss Davy. That's super duper easy. That's fine. I know that that's negative 10. However, when you divide or you multiply by a negative number, the sign changes. It flips directions. So it is now facing that way. So make sure that you have J as your answer. Look at your next page. These are all distributive property. And we're combining like terms. So, ready? This is being multiplied by that. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is actually x squared. Oh, look, that one's already up. Plus, because there's a plus sign right here, 2x times 5, which is 10x. Plus, because there's a plus sign right here, 3 times x, which is what? 3x. Minus, because there's a minus sign right here, 3 times 3, which is 9. If I combine my x's, I end up with this one. Okay, this one's order of operations. So our order of operations is parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, left to right, and addition, subtraction, left to right. So first, I don't have any parentheses. I don't have any exponents. I do have multiplication though, so what does that give you? 10. So I have 4 plus 10 minus 3, go order left to right. 10 plus 4 is 14, minus 3 is 11. What is the value of 6 times 2 plus 8 divided by 2? Multiplication and division first. So that's 12. I'm just going to bring down my plus sign. That's 4. And I get 16. Nope, I forgot this one right here. My bad. 5 times 4 is 20. plus sign, 5 times 3x, 15x, minus sign from right here, 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 times 2x is 6x, minus sign from right here, 3 times 3 is 9. Well, hold up. We got a lot going on here, don't we? So I'm going to circle that, square that, circle that, square that, circle that. I'm going to add my x's first just because they're easier. 15 plus 6 is 21. What's 20 minus 5? 15. Minus 9? Is none of these. Oh, goodness gracious. Right here. My bad, guys. It's 6. There you go. All right. 3 times 3, that's 9. Plus 3 times x, that's 3x. Minus, I don't actually want you to tell me what 3 times pi is. Just leave it as 3 pi. Plus 5 times x, 5x. Plus 5 times pi is 5 pi. So they all got a 9, so I can't take any out. What's 5x plus 3x? 8x. Okay? I have a negative 3 pi and a positive 5 pi. Do I add them together and get 8? I do not. They're different signs. Okay? This is the positive, has more, which means that your answer will be positive. All right, for 6. Parentheses first. So that would be 3. So I have 30 divided by 3 plus 3. 10 plus 3 is 13. Try the next one. Add them together, you should get 14. Okay? I want you to try and do the distributive yourself, and then come back to me. Welcome back. You should have 20x minus 12 plus 14x plus 12. 20 and 14 is 34. Minus 12 plus 12, those cancel out. You should get h.